An ant blocked my path while walking down through the forest. When I picked it up, the ant told me to follow him. Within 45 minutes we covered 20 meters deep into the woods and I saw a Finnish army ration on a huge anthill. What a surprise! Look at all this stuff in the transparent bag. Fortunately, I happen to have a camera, gas and utensils, and right now we'll find out what the Finnish soldiers eat. The main dish for breakfast is a rice porridge with milk. In order not to waste time, we immediately turn on the gas burner and pour water for boiling. But suddenly, we notice a deadly fight between two ants near the gas cylinder. Although it was more like wrestling. Apparently, one ant wanted to bring his drunken friend home, but he didn't want to and was struggling with all his might. Obviously, we didn't have time to watch the fight till the end. After all, there were such delicious crisp breads with pieces of whole seeds waiting for us inside the package. Right behind them comes such a tube. For some reason, I was convinced that it contained sweet condensed milk, but when I pierced the hole and squeezed the tube tightly, some brown mass started to come out of it. It turned out to be canned tuna pate. In combination with the crisp breads, it appears to be quite tasty. Next, we see this big package of cacao, pour it into the cup, and only now we realize that there is no spoon in the package at all. Luckily, we have these folding utensils. We'll use those. When we pour water into it, the smell of the aromatic cacao drink starts to spread all over the forest and attract bears. So we have to drink it quickly. Now we take a big and tasty chocolate bar, which is a little twisted and melted because of the temperature. But that's not going to stop a hungry traveler in the woods. If you are still thirsty after drinking cacao, the Finns have put this tea bag with an elephant on the label. And you can quench your thirst with a strong tea brew. Okay, let's open the package with breakfast. We actually see some pieces of berries inside, and some strange scale that doesn't show the required amount of water anyway. So we pour in water at our own discretion. Seal it up and stir it properly. But that's not all. There is another dish inside, and it's muesli with powdered yogurt. The more food the better. I haven't had breakfast at home, so everything will be eaten with great pleasure. Literally 2 minutes later, we pour the yogurt and cereal into a bowl. It certainly doesn't taste exactly like yogurt, but I like it. Still, I enjoyed the rice porridge with pieces of berries even more. I don't understand how rice could be cooked so quickly, because it usually takes half an hour or more to cook. To make the porridge even tastier, I used such gifts of nature as these black berries and got a great gastronomic pleasure. Look at this good and nourishing breakfast the soldiers get. Fueled with such an amount of food in the morning, you probably don't even need to eat lunch. All this time, the ants were watching us eating all sorts of goodies, and we couldn't leave without offering a piece of a sandwich and a chocolate bar, which they immediately started scattering into their burrows to feed the queen and the kids. After reaching the next point, we couldn't wait to check out what we have for lunch. Here we have pasta bolognese made in Finland. Ooh, I feel like a Finnish Italian. The pasta looks stony hard, and I don't know if hot water will be enough to revive it. Moving on, we see small discs of puffed rice. Obviously, they contain almost no calories, but they're good enough if you want some variety. And here is a snack that provides calories. These are roasted salted peanuts. Its smell attracted a small lizard from under the bark of the stump. We didn't move as not to scare it and get a better look, but it was shy and ran away. We'll leave some food from lunch for it later. Pour some boiling water over the pasta, stir everything well with a spoon, and it already looks rather appetizing. The instructions on the package say that you have to wait for 15 minutes. In the meantime, we pour a coffee satchel and some special bleach into the cup. Coffee with milk tastes good, but sugar makes it even tastier. Next, we get a package filled with powder. There is an inscription, sports drink on the label, and a symbol of the Finnish Olympics team. Perhaps the athletes drink this beverage during the games. It looks like regular flour and it doesn't dissolve well, but I liked its flavor and my body got a lot of fast carbohydrates when I needed them so much. I like different sweet bars in foreign dry rations. This bar contains a lot of proteins. After all, the organism requires not only carbohydrates but also proteins and fats. Just look at all this appetizing pasta. There are herbs, some kind of sauce and even pieces of meat. The pasta itself is a little bit hard, but still the dish is very delicious. Moreover, we found a sachet in the dry ration pack labeled sriracha, and it turns out to be some very hot spices, which I will definitely add to the dish. And if you're watching the video right now, it means I've managed to survive and edit it. Lunch also pleased us with a large portion of pasta, nuts, a candy bar and 2 drinks. That's enough to keep us full until the evening. We almost forgot about this package, which contained 2 of these sweet pills. I'm not sure if it's a sweetener or just candy, but it's sweet and tasty. Unpacking of dry rations generates a lot of trash, which we always take away. Always remember the main rule of the forest. You can't leave anything in the forest except your footprints, and maybe a little bit of food for the animals. Unfortunately, we have no gas left for the dinner, so we will use Plan B and the gifts of nature, namely this stove, which is fueled with small twigs and can be used to boil even large amounts of water, providing a large and powerful flame. At that moment, we found something round and covered with a thick layer of slime beside a stump. At first, we thought it was some kind of an alien egg. Cutting it in half, we saw different layers and a nice texture, as if we were looking at some kind of a dessert or candy. We had no idea what it was, so we didn't risk eating it. However, if any of you want to taste it, I can send it by post. Alright, our main course will be mashed potatoes with some additives. In my opinion, potatoes are always delicious, no matter how they're cooked. Also, we found a package of a powdered drink that was supposed to turn into a cola. We even happened to have a Coke bottle in our backpack. Pour the powder inside, add some water, and stir it to make a drink. The color is pretty similar. That's probably how they make a real cola in the factories. This cola doesn't taste much like the original one, but it will definitely quench your thirst and restore your energy. Meanwhile, the water was already boiling hard, so we quickly poured it over the potato powder and literally within 1 minute got a cooked dish. For me, the moment of taking food out of the package over to a plate in anticipation of eating it is always visually satisfying. And of course, the potatoes turned out to be quite tasty, especially with many delicious additives. But that's not all. The Finns have also put such a package with a chocolate kissel. That's strange. Apparently, for its preparation you need cold but not hot water. We pour the powder into a cup, and after a minute of stirring, we have a thick and tasty chocolate dessert. I could eat such a dry ration every day. I know many of you are still waiting for the adventures in Norway, but I am still sorting out 140 gigabytes of footage and editing the next part, so it's coming soon. In the meantime, you can watch the first part if you haven't seen it yet.